Productivity has become an individual pursuit.
From how we work,
I had to do more and more and more and more in order to reach this success.
to when we work,
Doing night shift kind of works against nature, right?
to where we work.
I felt very, very lonely. I was starting to get depressed.
All this week, we've been exploring modern workplaces and why so many Canadians are battling burnout. But it's clearly not just a Canadian problem. And depending on where you go around the world, the consequences and the solutions too can be quite extreme. So here's the question. How can governments help stop overwork?
In the Japanese employment system, normal regular workers, they have a sense of guilty to leave the office.
That guilt is at the heart of Japan's problem with overwork. It pushes employees to stay late, leave vacation days unused, and to focus on the team.
The Japanese workplace has a very collective atmosphere. If the department or division had not complete their task, any member should not leave the office.
At its most extreme, that mentality can lead to karoshi, literally death by overwork. In 2017, 190 people in Japan were reported to have died this way, many by suicide. Recently, Shinzo Abe's government introduced this stress check, a mandatory questionnaire asking employees to rate everything from the office dynamic to their own exhaustion, even whether they've had diarrhea. It also brought in a new law forcing workers to actually use their vacation days, and it's limiting overtime. On average, no more than 2.5 hours of OT a day. In other countries, it's a whole different issue. Take France. This is the land of the 35-hour work week, 5-week vacations, and most recently, the legal right to disconnect from email after work hours. All of it enshrined in the Code du Travail.
La France, au cours des 10 dernières années, a souffert d'une faiblesse de sa productivité.
While France's economic problems are complex, some blame the labor code's rigid protections. Too expansive, too expensive to accommodate. Businesses suffer. But the code has its fierce defenders who say, hands off the rights we fought so hard for. So what can Canada learn from all of this?
In both the Japanese case and in the French case, it's hard to legislate culture.
Sunil Johal is advising the federal government on modern labor standards. His recommendations come this June, but for now, he hints the right answer is a deft touch.
Is the needle moving in the right direction?
I think so. I mean, I think this is something workers are talking about quite a bit now, and very progressive employers are also talking about. And in a competitive marketplace, if you're a company that's moving ahead with progressive policies, you're going to get the best talent.
In other words, a helpful nudge from government may be about as far as it should go. The real work left to employees themselves and their bosses. And our series does continue tomorrow with a close look at the video game industry. Very lucrative, worth billions of dollars, yet some developers say when it is crunch time, the hours are painfully long with no overtime pay. And they're starting to fight back. That's tomorrow.